If there is a way to prevent 3/4 of your new users to forget about your app within 3 days of the installs, using the right email onboarding flow is definitely the right strategy to use, as it can not only prevent a high churn rate, but also increases the lifetime value of your customers by up to 33%. So following one of my previous videos, you proudly assembled your first email flow to nurture at will both your new users and returning customers alike. And you can now sit back, relax, and enjoy the sales of your mobile app. Or can you? You see, your app might be good, your nurturing email flows might appear sufficient, but how do you make sure you've squeezed all the benefits out of the exercise? Hi everyone, I'm Gilles Argivier, and today I'm going to show you the 11 easy steps to run A/B testing during your email onboarding flow. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to this channel and click the alert notification button to get notified on all my new posts. So what is A/B testing? A/B testing is a testing process that compares two versions of a single variable. It tests a subject's response to a variant A against variant B and determines which one is more effective. Web pages, emails, and ads, as well as all their parts, are the most commonly tested by marketers. So why is A/B testing important? Well, three main reasons really. First, it is data-based. Numbers don't lie, and as long as you use significant sample sizes, you know what your users prefer. Second is to increase open rate, where by looking at this KPI, you can see what email titles and subject lines work best for your emails. The third A/B testing benefit is to increase conversion rate, where by looking at the conversion rate KPI, you can see if your users are taking action when they open your email. You can then improve and ultimately increase your conversion rate. So how do you run A/B testing? Before you start, you need to use a tool like VWO, for example, that will help you run your A/B testing. There are many of them available, and you can find an entire list in the tools section of my website. Step number 1, pick one variable to test. At the core of the process is the choice of one and unique variable to test against the control version. This is the only way to truly conduct this experiment and measure the performance of the change. You can of course test more than one variable for a single email, but just be sure to test them one at a time. Look at the various elements in your marketing resources and their possible alternatives for your design, wording, and layout. The things you might want to consider for testing include subject lines, all elements of personalization, words, pitches, images, CTAs, wording, color, and shapes. Step number 2, identify your performance indicator. This is the data you'll be looking at to see if the change in the variable affected it or not, and if so, by how much. As an example, if you are changing your email title, your performance indicator might be the open rate to see if it gets impacted or not. Step number 3, create a control and a variant. Now you know what variable you want to change in your email and how you will measure its impact. You can prepare your challenger email. And at the same time, you will have your control email, that is the one that does not change, so that you can make comparison. Keep in mind that both control and variant will need to run simultaneously. Step number 4, split your sample groups equally and randomly. For this, you need to split your audience into and affect them to version A or B at random and in equal numbers. Do not send the email A to 5 people and the email B to 30 people, as this will render the test void. Step number 5, determine your sample size. This might not be possible in all cases based on the size of your audience, since each sample has to achieve a certain size to be significant. But whenever possible, only allocate a portion of your total audience for your A/B test and keep the rest for the implementation to implement the improvement afterwards. For example, take only 30% of your audience for the test, 15% receiving the email A, 15% receiving email B. You will need to let your test run long enough to obtain a substantial number of views, otherwise it will be hard to tell whether there was a statistically significant difference between the two variations. Step number 6, select the statistical significance you want from your test. Statistical significance is a key part of A/B testing process. It reflects the level of confidence you want to have in the results. The lower the significance, the higher the risk that the result will not mean anything and will lead to making a wrong decision if followed. In most cases, you will want a confidence level of 95% at least, especially if it was a time-intensive experiment to set up. Step number 7. Give the A/B test enough time to produce useful data. You need to let your tests run long enough in order to obtain a substantial sample size. Otherwise, there will not be a statistically significant difference between the two variations. Depending on your industry, getting statistically significant results could happen in hours, or days, or even weeks. You need to wait as long as it takes until the significance level is reached to have a meaningful data. Step number 8. Measure the significance of your results using an A/B testing calculator. This is where you determine if you have enough data to make some changes to your next round of emails. For this, I have in my toolbox section on my website some tools you can use to calculate the significance of your results to use for free. Step number 9. Consider qualitative data. If A/B testing can tell you the what from the user, it will not tell you the why they converted or not. In this case, it might be useful to understand this by surveying them after the test and combine the results from those of the A/B testing. This might provide you with valuable insight for your next round of A/B testing that can save you considerable time and money. And again, I have a list of tools available on my website for you at gilles-argivier.com. Step 10. Take action based on your results. If one variation is statistically better than the other, you have a winner. You can now implement the change to the remaining of the audience, the 70%, plus the 15% of the variant group that underperformed. Step 11. Repeat. A/B testing is not a one-off activity, but a continuous one. Make sure, though, that it is worth the investment in time and calculate your ROI to focus on the elements that truly will make an impact. Improvement is always possible. The question is to know when to stop testing when the impact becomes marginal. So that's it for the 11 easy steps to A/B test your email onboarding flow. I hope you enjoyed this video. There is of course much more to discover about mobile app marketing, and if you wish to do so, or if you need help with your digital marketing needs, check out my website at gilles-argivier.com. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, like it, share it, and tell other people about it. Thank you for watching.